Well, hello there, guys. It's your boy, Fluffy Peanuts. We're getting some exciting news, some exciting stuff. We're about to check that out right here on POE2. Hit that subscribe button, that bell icon, so that way you get notified every time I go live and I post a new video or some new content, okay? So with that being said, I'm excited for a lot of things. You guys are going to be watching this video. You're going to see the things I'm going to be excited for, okay? And some of the things, I don't really care much for. So with that being said, guys, I'm very transparent. All right, so let's get a deep dive into this video right here and check it out. Hope you guys enjoy. Okay, hashtag Peanut Gang, baby all day, every day. I'll see y'all later. Till next time.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. Welcome to GGG Live. Well, it's been a little over 3 months since we launched Early Access, so it's about time for our first major content update. Today, we're going to show you an exclusive reveal of Path of Exile 2, Dawn of the Hunt, which launches on April 4th. Twitch drops are enabled on today's live stream, so make sure you follow the instructions below in order to claim your Executioner's Guillotine finisher effect. Now, in today's stream, we're going to take you on a deep dive into the new Dawn of the Hunt update. We'll cover a new class, 5 new Ascendancy classes.
How long is this? 40 minutes?
Huge expansions on
I ain't watching all this.
Like unique items and support gems. After that, it's on to the endgame improvements, including changes to systems, a bunch of new encounters, and lots of other content. We're going to finish up today with a live Q&A session where Ziggy D will ask Path of Exile 2's game directors, myself and Mark, your questions from Twitch chat. Now, we have a lot to cover today.
Well, listen here, Freddy. You can't say that they don't want people one-shotting. Okay.
We as Mary
beating a dead horse stale.
The spirit. It provides prey, shelter, even.
Oh, this is the hunter. Oh, April 4th.
Now, as you can see, in Dawn of the Hunt, we're introducing the first new class since early access to POE2, the Huntress. The Huntress is a spear-wielding Asmeri warrior. Born into a society with strict traditions, she was exiled from her homeland after using the power of a skill to defend her village. As a dexterous spear user, she specializes in both melee and ranged combat, dashing into and out of battle.
I'm telling you right now,
Spears
I
have
would not be
extended
using
range
this
and a short
character.
dash, but unlike other melee weapons, you can also throw them.
I don't like
In order to make
melee.
a hybrid ranged and melee character work, we had to do a lot of thinking about ways to make it fun to both enter and exit melee range. The first skill you will get as a Huntress is Whirling Slash. As well as striking in a circle around you, this skill creates a whirlwind that blinds your enemies. Leaving the whirlwind will make it explode. The more Whirling Slash is used, the bigger the whirlwind, and the bigger the explosion. Once you're out of there, you'll want to follow up with something ranged. Whip your
I would
spear
not
around
be
to
using
shoot
this
twisters
class.
towards your foes.
This class seems too slow. I want stuff to do stuff fast. This looks slow. Next. New Ascendancies. That's
Those are not
something
the only
interesting.
Ascendancies in Dawn of the Hunt. We've added a new Ascension class for 3 of the other existing classes too.
Oh, they only added to 3
First
classes?
up, for our warriors out there, we have the Smith of Kitava.
What?
The warrior is a
Not
blacksmith
doing
in
all
origin,
6?
taught by his father Renly.
Some
With
of
this
that.
ascension, you can take your smithing skills to new heights by embracing power from the insatiable one himself, Kitava. Smiths of Kitava are master blacksmiths and have the ability to forge their weapon, quite literally. Using the Against the Anvil notable skill, you can enhance your weapon with fiery destruction before any battle. After doing
Gotta
so,
do
your
that
attacks will
every
release
time.
explosions on hit for maximum devastation.
I guess that's cool.
You can also use the power of Kitava to summon an animated copy of your weapon to fight alongside you.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
A great blacksmith can do more than just forging their weapon, though. Their armor can be enhanced too. Now, you might think this Ascendancy class tree looks a little abnormal, and you're right. There's a lot of notable skills all disconnected at the bottom there. By taking this point here, which is free to assign, your character is unable to equip body armors with mods of any kind.
And it's
So your
free?
body armor must be
Okay.
Sounds like a downside, right? Except now in true blacksmith fashion, you get to craft your own body armor by taking those disconnected notables with your points. If you want your body armor to grant life, take this notable. If you want resistances, take this one. There's so many choices. Think of it like you're crafting your own body armor, just in a more literal sense. Now, let's move on to those who prefer the reassuring feel of a crossbow in their hands, the Mercenary. Alongside the existing Ascension classes, the Gemling Legionnaire and the Witch Hunter, you can now play as the Tactician. The Tactician is a former Blackguard elite. Free from the duties of a Blackguard, he is able to use his training to decimate the monsters of Rayclast and earn a healthy income doing so. This training comes in the form of various skills like Suppressing Fire, which causes all projectiles to pin enemies. When combined with the Right Where We Want Them notable, your pin not only stops your enemies from moving, but stops them from performing actions too, similar to Freeze. With a soldier's training, the Tactician also works well cooperatively. Using the Whoever Pays Best notable, you can place multiple banners at once. The Watch How We Do It skill gives a portion of your weapon's damage to your allies as well. But if that isn't enough, you can also command your army of off-screen archers to unleash hell and carpet an entire area with arrows. Finally, Witch players will be able to join their legions by becoming undead themselves. In Dawn of the Hunt, we're introducing the Lich Ascension class. The Lich is a master of chaos and curses and could sacrifice her life to enhance her energy shield. The Crystalline Phylactery skill allows you to nominate a jewel in which to contain part of your soul, massively increasing its power. There's just one downside to splitting your soul this way, though. If you have no energy shield, your mana costs will shoot up. The Necromantic Conduit skill causes you and allies in your presence to have unholy might, granting extra damage as chaos damage. Rupture the Soul makes enemies you curse explode with chaos damage when slain.
Seems like they're really trying to get into
Dominion
this
of the
chaos.
Flesh allows you to apply an additional curse. It's safe to say you'll be the true master of the occult by choosing the Lich class. So Dawn of the Hunt has the Huntress and 5 new Ascension classes, but it doesn't end there.
Now you say 5 new Ascension classes?
Now you may remember we previously talked about the Raise Spectre skill. It's finally complete, and it will be made available in the upcoming expansion. It can be found in the occult skills on the skill gem crafting panel. Raise Spectre is a skill that allows you to trap the soul of almost any monster in the game, which you can then summon in the skill panel. Spectres cost spirit and will revive automatically if they die, but the spirit cost varies based on the power of the monster. You could summon an army of weaker monsters, or a few of the more powerful monsters. You can combine them with your existing skeleton minions, or summon exclusive.
Please tell me you can summon a boss.
How you want to customize your army of the undead.
Please tell me you can summon a boss.
Hundreds of monster variants in Path of Exile 2. It's safe to say you'll be experimenting with this one for a while. We look forward to seeing which monsters serve you best. Now let's move on to our next skill.
And do you keep
Since we've been talking about summoning undead so much, let's have a change of pace and summon something a little more alive. In Dawn of the Hunt, we're adding the Summon Rower skill. Summon your friendly rower to aid you in combat as a minion. You can also mount your rower in combat at any time, allowing you to move at full speed even while shooting arrows or throwing spears. Be wary though, if you take too much damage while riding your mount, you can be knocked off and get overwhelmed. It's worth keeping an eye on your stagger bar, as falling off the mount can mean almost certain death. On the topic of new ways to enhance your character, let's talk about support gems. Support gems are used to modify your skill gems in meaningful and interesting ways. Currently, we feel that a lot of builds have insufficient options here. To alleviate this, we're adding over 100 new support gems.
Over
Hema
100?
crystals will enable a new kind of bleed build, turning the damage of a gun into explosive vial crystals.
That looks like a
Alignment
cool
is a
one.
support gem for bow attacks, which can reward skilled players with good positional skills. Caltrops will allow you to litter the battlefield with hazards, slowing your foes as you flick spears through
Can't
their
use a skill on one boss, dude.
more for every playstyle,
Come on,
such as
man.
Enormity,
Give me what I wish for. Oh,
Unsteady Tempo,
that looks cool.
Profanity, Retaliate, Syzygy. Yep, that's a real word. And many more.
I feel like a lot of
Now,
these
we've
are
talked about a new
just
class,
slow.
new ascendancy classes, new skills, and new support gems. But let's not forget about the core of a true action RPG, the items. To start with, let's talk about uniques. We're adding over 100 new unique items.
Bruh. We're getting over 100 uniques. Bro. Okay, my only complaint about this, these uniques needs to be good. Because all the uniques that they got right now are garbage. Besides what? A small handful of them? I mean, come on. These uniques better be good, bro. Okay? Not trash like the other uniques are. You know what I mean? Because there's like only like what? How many good uniques that everybody are using? Maybe like 5, 6, maybe 7. You know, picking the classes we want to play with and just rolling through the acts quick with all of our characters, so that way we can get to the end game pretty quick. So I'm assuming they're not going to add any acts.
Make sure to add uniques with a focus on mid and end game tiers to make sure there are more exciting items to find for higher level characters. Let's look at some examples. Embrace your inner devil with Chernobog's Pillar. It grants you a large amount of fire damage based.
Okay, are they actually going to do something with armor? Because armor doesn't mean crap in this game right now. They better do something with armor. They better do some armor things. You know what I mean? Armor really doesn't do crap right now. It doesn't do a dang thing, man. So, okay, so they're adding this unique. All right, got you. So it all has to be based off a block. That's what I'm getting at here, because it's 38% fire resist, chaos resist. But, dude, if you're a warrior, I saw when he was hovering over some of those freaking ascendancies, bro, plus 75% to, like, lightning and fire resist, okay? You're telling me that I can choose that, get those, depending on what the other ascendancies are. You know, not ascendancies, I should say. It depends on what the other points do, right? Because they only showed us a brief little clip of it. You know, I might make a warrior one too. But obviously, I'm going to do my Gemling first. If they don't nerf it horribly, which we'll find out on 4th of April, guess we'll wait another freaking week. It's whatever. If they don't nerf it horribly, because I'm pretty sure, to my understanding, the nerfs are going to happen on the new, whatever they're going to call it, right? And plus the old server, right? Because I know that they're keeping that one. They're calling it early access something for the new one. And they're just going to keep that, I think, the other one early access. And I think they're implementing both of them, right? All the nerfs and stuff to both servers, which they should. Okay. And the items and everything else as well, obviously. I'll hop on my Gemling and I'll hop on the Spark build as Blood Mage, see how bad it is, how bad the nerfs are, which I don't think they will be. Shouldn't really nerf the Temporalis. Shouldn't really nerf the Wall of Ice. I mean, maybe the Heralds, possibly. I don't know. That's just how big game developers are. Oh, man, you're doing this too easy. We got to nerf it. Then it becomes a point where you're getting in that stagnantness, right? That okay. So every good build that comes out, they're going to nerf. You know, and you're in this repeated process of it happening. Keep on playing, keep on sitting there, getting items or whatever, getting the builds tweaked out. You got to constantly keep doing that. That is going to deter people from playing the game. Okay, I've seen it multiple times on several different video games that I played. Okay, that was Helldivers 2's big downfall. They kept nerfing stuff, right, on a PvE game. And now look at the game. It's almost dead completely. Moving on.
Based on your block.
I just hope they don't.
The coming calamity allows you to become a true master of the elements, granting you all 3 elemental herald skills.
Bruh. Oh, you know that this right here, this staff, is going to replace the Pillar of God, and this thing's going to be worth like 100 divs right off the riff. I guarantee it. If I pick this damn, dude, if I'm grabbing this thing, bro, I'm selling it. I'm not even selling it. I'm keeping it. I'm going to make it up for the leveling build. Because, bro, adding all 3 heralds, and plus 37%, this must be the max. This is probably what you can get max. Plus 37% to all elemental resistance. Enemies in your presence will have no element resist. Oh my god. Bruh. Bro, Jesus. Maybe they are doing something. Maybe they finally figured it out. Okay, all of our uniques are trash. Everybody's only using like 7 or 8. We need to change this up. It's about time they listen to the community, bro. That's wild, bro. That's a Gemling build right there, bro. Gemling. I'm seeing it right now. I'm seeing it. Gemling. Or monk. Gemling or monk. That's why I see the future.
Costing any spirit. At the same time, it penalizes enemy resistances. Waste Gate is a belt useful for builds using a single resource like Blood Magic or Archmage builds. With this belt, you can use 2 life flasks or 2 mana flasks. It's up to you. Now, we could go through these all day, but we'll leave most of them for you to discover. Suffice to say, though, we want there to be way more cool things to find. Over time, our goal is to add a unique to every single base item type at a minimum, so that you can chance any base in the game. Now, given that we have the Huntress, we have a set of unique spears from early game all the way through to endgame as well. One example is Scyther's Spear.
It's 22 to physical damage, 27 to fire damage, 20% chance to cause bleeding on a hit. Aggravating any bleeding with the weapon also aggravates all ignites on the target. 10% chance to aggravate bleeding on a hit. Cannot use projectile attacks. Well, that's dumb. Single target thing. That's stupid. Sorry, guys. I mean, I'm making money right now, okay?
Which combines bleed and fire in a powerful way.
See, I don't like
dealing substantially more damage.
I don't like melee weapons, man.
Unique bucklers with some interesting parry mechanics. Kalgyra's Arc, for example, allows you to parry projectiles from any distance. And we're also adding our first unique charms. Bayra's Anguish will not only protect you from ignite, but will also emit a devastating fire nova whenever you do get ignited. In sum, there's just a ton of new uniques to find. We can't wait to see the weird and broken builds that come out of it. Now, we also want
to they want the broken builds. I don't know why they nerfing crap.
We'll be continuing to add and improve the options here. We have various new crafting tools that have been added as rewards to many of the different types of new content that we're adding. But for now, I just want to mention the changes to runes. Runes add commonly available mods, but since they only have 1 tier, flat damage mods tend to get outclassed by endgame. So we've changed runes to have multiple tiers, allowing you to get higher tier mods than before.
Nice.
Our plan is to significantly expand the number of more specialized mods for crafting using socketables as we add new content over time. And the first new set of those comes from what we're talking about next. In Dawn of the Hunt, we're adding Asmarian Wisps, which can be found throughout both the campaign and the endgame. The Asmari spirit has made itself present in Rayclast, and it appears to be trying to warn, or maybe prepare us for the coming darkness. You will first encounter a manifestation of it in the Grelwood in Act 1, where you'll meet Delwyn, an Asmari hunter who is trying to find out what exactly is causing the spirit to behave this way. As you approach the wisp, it will flee, leading you past monsters. Any monsters it comes into contact with are infused by it, making them more powerful. Each spirit is associated with a specific revered animal within Asmari culture. This one is a wisp of the Great Bear, and grants enemies extra life and stun. The wisp moves faster the closer you are, and as you move away, they slow down to wait for you. But if you get too far away for too long, they'll dissipate and return to the woods. As you continue to chase the wisp, it will find and possess a rare or unique monster, granting it a new powerful ability. Because this was a wisp of the Great Bear, this monster now also has increased life and stun. But on top of that, it will periodically summon a large spectral bear that slams with wild fury. If you're able to defeat this foe, you will be rewarded. For each monster that was infused and killed along the way, the rewards will be increased. Each wisp has its own mechanics. The Wisp of the Winter Owl is a primal wisp that causes enemies to deal extra cold damage, gain energy shield, and release wind vortices on death. When infusing a monster, they will call down large tornadoes to protect their host. The Wisp of the Wild Cat is a vivid wisp that causes affected monsters to deal more critical strikes and become more evasive. When it infuses a monster, it will summon a barrage of feline spirits that will attempt to tear you limb from limb. If you're lucky, you may even find sacred wisps that can do some pretty crazy things to the monsters they influence. Like the Wisp of the Cunning Fox, which turns normal monsters into magics, magic monsters into rares, and rare monsters into actual bosses. Asmerian Wisps can drop a new set of socketable items that allow you to craft a wide range of interesting new mods on.
Oh, this one is going to go for a lot. Corruptible blood cannot be inflicted on you. That's going to be an expensive freaking item.
Onto your items. Each one may only be used on a specific item slot. As mentioned, the Asmerian Wisps can be encountered throughout the game, but there's also a new endgame map called the Asmeri Ranges, a mountain village where the Asmeri once lived, now overrun with corrupt monsters. This map always has multiple Asmerian Wisps in it, and familiar, yet not quite the same boss fight. Asmerian Wisps can also be further modified by the endgame Atlas tree as well, and by tablets. But I'm not going to be the one talking about those things. In order to cover all the new content in endgame, I'm going to hand things over to Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. There's a ton to talk about with the endgame today, so let's dig right in. Path of Exile 2's early access began with a brand new endgame, and it was clear that it needed a lot of work. After absorbing your feedback, we're ready to make some epic changes.
Yeah,
The
how about
first
we
thing
make
is,
more
we
freaking
just need
connection?
a lot more content. In Dawn of the Hunt, we have made sure to focus on increasing the sheer number of interesting and different encounters you will randomly stumble into as you explore the endgame. And the second goal is to smoothen the progression through maps and reduce the amount of annoying busy work. To start with, let's talk about the new interesting stuff to find. Well, the most obvious thing to add are new maps. As well as the Asmeri Ranges that Jonathan mentioned earlier, Dawn of the Hunt also contains 7 other new maps, all with their own custom encounters. Let's start with this one. The Feral Megaliths map starts off in the wild Ezomite forests. As you progress through the forest, you will find mysterious rune-carved stones that, when touched, surge with energy. After activating all the stones, you can find a grand henge, where all the energy is coalescing. You can then start an encounter. The area darkens, a storm moves in, and a concentration of energy summons a dangerous boss. You must fight and defeat the boss to get its rewards. Once you have defeated it, summon another. And another. And another. And another. You have 10 total waves of boss fights which get incrementally more difficult. If you manage to defeat them, you get full boss rewards, but also opportunities to get new runes. These can only be obtained from this map. The Fractured Lake contains a surreal waterscape with fractured mirror-like objects. As you
this is
move around the
interesting.
map, the terrain itself elevates from below, creating the ground you walk on. In this unique map, all the rare monsters are mirrored, so you're always fighting 2 of the same rare at the same time, which can prove quite difficult. If you manage to overcome that challenge and make it to the end of the map, you'll be presented with a broken mirror, a powerful altar-like object that contains an item within it. The item contained within is a new base type, either an amulet or a ring, that can be crafted to have additional prefixes or suffixes at the cost of the other. The last unique map we'll show today is one based around the essence mechanic. You enter a crystalline cavern, and you will find a powerful map boss imprisoned in the center. It is surrounded by many rare monsters, also imprisoned in essences. By freeing and defeating the rare monsters, the essence they held will be upgraded to a greater essence, and be added to the imprisoned map boss.
Huh.
How brave are you? How many essences will you add to the boss? Overdo it, and you might lose everything. Underdo it, and you might regret it. It's your choice. Speaking of essences, alongside visual improvements, you're now able to apply Val Orbs to corrupt the essences, with a range of unpredictable outcomes. It could increase the number of essences, reroll all the essences to the same type, or even upgrade the essences to greater essences. What if they're already greater essences? Well, it can upgrade those too. We have 4 new corrupted essences. Essence of Hysteria, Delirium, Horror, and Insanity. Each corrupted essence has its own interesting combat mechanics. For example, the Essence of Insanity causes you to question even your own mind, as monsters split into shadowy clones, and you must locate the real one before a devastating icy explosion freezes everything around it. Each of these has their own crafting outcomes. The Essence of Insanity can be applied to a belt. it adds a mod that will ensure the next Val Orb used on the belt will guarantee adding 2 enchantments.
Nice. Bro, I know what I'm farming. That's gonna be awesome. Adds 2? That's insane.
It's worth noting all the essences in the unique map can also be corrupted too, if you're willing to risk it. It's worth noting we have also added 10 extra Atlas passive points you can earn by completing 5 different unique maps.
Nice.
Now, new maps are just the beginning. We had a goal where we wanted to make sure you were constantly finding exciting new content, and that it could be lurking around any corner. So, we have added a bunch of new things that you could stumble into in any map you run. On your travels, you will sometimes encounter rogue exiles. Others like you who have been exiled and are openly hostile. Some are malicious, some are mad, while others are simply fiends for loot. They will challenge you, a fight to the death. They use the same skills available to players, and even the same items. They aren't just dressed up in those items, they're actually using them. It's going to feel like a true player versus player situation.
Oh, that's sick.
Of course, if you are able to slay these exiles, those items will all drop on the ground.
What?
So if you encounter an exile using a powerful or valuable unique item, which you can see displayed under their life bar, you want to be damn sure you kill them. Because if they kill you and your party, they'll portal out, taking their items with them. Every fight will feel completely different depending on the items they come equipped.
Bro!
These exiles are much smarter than your regular monster. They have capabilities to dodge roll, avoid your abilities with smart pathfinding, smart targeting, and much more action-packed gameplay. Fortunately, they're like you, and they're not super durable. Unless, of course, they're wearing uniques like Helm's Heart, in which case, expect a longer battle. There are 12 different rogue exiles you can find, each with their own skills and personalities. Some may insult you, while others may admire your honor in combat. Another encounter you might stumble onto in Dawn of the Hunt are one of 4 new unique strongboxes. Strongboxes are chests with modifiers. When you try to open them, they activate traps and spawn waves of monsters that you must defeat to access the loot. Let's take a look at 2 of the new unique boxes that are harder to find and behave just a little bit differently. The Ogham's Legacy Strongbox has a corpse splayed out in front of the rune-carved stone. Upon interacting with the stone, you activate Forbidden Ezomite magic, which revives the monster as a powerful rare. The Strongbox comes with a modifier, which determines how many times it will revive that rare. Each time you defeat the monstrosity, the Strongbox revives it again, adding an extra modifier to the monster. With each resurrection, it becomes more difficult, but also more rewarding.
Nice.
This strongbox is infused with thaumaturgy from ancient Fal technology. Eshel's Torment has a powerful artifact inside, and is guarded by chaos itself. Defeating the monsters will grant you a unique item, with a specific corrupted outcome. You'll have to find the other 2 for yourself to see what they do.
That's pretty dope.
Now, let's talk about the introduction to the endgame. Upon starting the endgame, Doriani tasks you with cleansing corruption to help restore the land. However, in practice, the quest objective just sent you on a grind to clear 15 maps. We wanted to make the quest to unlock your Atlas passives much more interesting. Now, Doriani is tasking you with a more specific objective. On the Atlas, you will find areas of corruption caused by the beast. In the center of each one, you will find a corrupted nexus, the source of the affliction. In the areas leading up to the nexus, you will notice that corruption spills out from slain enemies and amalgamates into powerful monsters. Corrupted maps existed on the Atlas before, but we've done significant work on improving these monsters. We've also done a full pass on the modifiers on these maps to make them more interesting and more rewarding.
Nice.
Once you reach the nexus, you will have a new task: cleanse the source of corruption. When you defeat the last rare in those maps, they will spawn one of 3 terrifying bosses, amalgamations of corruption itself. After defeating that boss, Doriani will come and cleanse the corruption for good. As the remains of the boss are purged of corruption, it coalesces into raw crystallized power, which you can use to gain points for your Atlas passive skill tree. the upgrade system that allows you to add and enhance content in your maps. We didn't stop there though. When you complete a corrupted nexus, all of the remaining surrounding corrupted maps will become cleansed maps. Cleansed maps also have new monsters, a new boss, and their own set of modifiers and rewards, including finding Fracturing Orbs by slaying cleansed enemies.
Bro, endgame's gonna be so
These
dope.
orbs can be used in crafting on a rare item to cause one of its modifiers to become fractured. A fractured modifier is one that cannot be modified by any means. You are able to freely modify the item, ensuring the fractured modifier will never change.
Nice.
If you get the right item with the right mod, it can prove to be a very powerful crafting base indeed. You must now choose. Do you complete all the corrupted maps and then the Nexus? Or maybe you beeline to the Nexus, complete it, and do all the remaining maps cleansed. Both have rewards to entice you and challenges to assess. Now, let's have a talk about towers. One thing we've had a lot of feedback on is the busy work around running towers and managing your tablets. The first change we've made here is that we have reduced the number of towers drastically, so there are now 1/3 as many as before, but we've made them much more powerful.
Why?
To start with, tablets now inherently add twice as many mechanics, but that's not all. Running higher tier maps and towers now increases the number of mechanics applied by tablets. By tier 15, the bonus is double, allowing a single tablet to now add 4 times as many mechanics as before. So, we're running far fewer towers, dealing with fewer tablets, and affecting even more maps than before. But because there are fewer towers overlapping with each other, you won't get as many opportunities to stack different tablets. In order to solve this, we've made it so that each tower can consume up to 3 tablets at once.
Oh, okay.
You always get one slot on completing the tower, but if you can complete a tower with more mods on the waystone, you can unlock a second or third slot. Overall, this allows for even more juicing from towers, while drastically reducing the amount of busy work you have to do. On top of that, towers are much more interesting maps because they can now spawn with all mechanics, including bosses.
That's gonna
Each
be
tower
annoying,
map has
though.
a new boss.
I'm glad they reduced
Let's take a
the
look
number,
at a couple here. The boss fight of the Alpine Ridge map has 2 powerful witches contesting for territory. One witch has an affinity for ice, the other fire. Who will win? Hopefully neither. The boss of the Sinking Spire map is a remnant of the Val that has been charged with lightning. It uses a full suite of lightning abilities. But be careful. If any of them hit the surrounding constructs, they will power up. Another thing that we've seen a lot of feedback about is sustaining waystones. As we looked into it, we realized that the people who couldn't sustain waystones were dying a lot. A lot more than we had expected. And that made us realize something. During the campaign, the expectation is that you can die multiple times in order to learn how to overcome challenges. You are able to learn how the monsters behave, adapt to their skills, and eventually overcome them. But as soon as you get to the endgame, you're effectively no longer allowed to die if you...
they're doing it! They're doing it!
By the time you are getting towards the end of endgame, we want you to have to be careful not to die. But it's
they're going to add more respawns.
Sudden shift as you run your first maps. The first change we're making is you can now respawn and return to a map if you die.
Nice!
Continuing from where you left off.
Giving us 6, aren't you?
When you start the endgame, you get up to 6 total attempts per map.
They did it just like POE1.
As to a waystone, the number of respawns goes down. This means that as you get to the point that you're running every waystone as a rare, you will have to be more careful.
Ah, come on, at least make it 2, not just 1.
In parties, everyone gets to respawn that number of times. But we still think it's important that you can kill a boss in one go. In order to allow that to happen, we've made a change so that once you start the boss fight, it changes over to the same respawning system we use for pinnacle bosses. This means that the map owner can choose to respawn everyone at the same time. Another complaint we've seen a lot of is players not wanting to do the pinnacle content because of the experience penalty from dying. A change we've made here is that all Pinnacle content now no longer grants experience, but also no longer removes experience on death either. Dawn of the Hunt also brings the first batch of Twilight Order reliquary keys from the early access supporter packs. These keys contain items selected by our supporters. They can contain any unique item found in Path of Exile 2. If the selected item is a Pinnacle boss drop, then only special keys dropped by this content will be able to provide these items. For example, Hand of Wisdom in action can only come from a key dropped by Zesht. We're also making a change that allows Pinnacle boss uniques to drop at any difficulty. Rarer uniques will be rarer at lower difficulties, but still possible to find. This applies to the drop charges for the reliquary keys from this content as well.
Good. Should be like that.
We spoke about towers and tablets earlier, but we have also added a suite of unique tablets.
Nice.
Each of these adds crazy interactions to the maps influenced by it. For example, this unique tablet allows you to run any map in a tower's radius without requiring connections.
What?
It can be quite useful for jumping gaps and traveling around your atlas.
Thank baby Jesus.
And this tablet causes all runic monsters spawned during expedition encounters to be duplicated, and weakens all expedition monsters that emerge from the ground. The Atlas tree has also been expanded, and you can find many of the new mechanics there. An improvement.
Oh my god, chat. Endgame and POE2 just got 100 times freaking better. 100 times better. 100 times better, bro. Let's freaking go. About to get in it. Oh, I can't wait. Come on, April 4th. I just want to go to sleep, wake up April 4th, and play it. 100 times better, man. I can't freaking wait. Nice.
Now, through this live stream, we have mentioned quite a few new crafting options that we've added. New runes, corrupted essences, fractured mods, and jewelry crafting bases. But we did have just one more crafting system to talk about. Recombination. Expedition was the only in-game mechanic that was lacking a crafting system, so that needed to change. Recombination is a mechanic that might be familiar to some players. It allows you to merge two items together, hoping to get the best elements of each on a single new item. This new crafting bench will be unlocked as you complete your first expedition, and requires artifacts found during expeditions to fuel it.
Oh.
The rarer the mods on the item you are combining, the more expensive the cost. That wraps up all the major in-game changes we're talking about today. With all the system changes and new content, we can't wait to get in there, start blasting maps, and obliterating monsters. There is one more thing we wanted to clarify before we move on, which is that all the content we've talked about today will be made available in the existing early access leagues, so you can play your existing characters. However, there will be new leagues made for those who wish to start in a fresh economy. It is recommended to start over and get the full new experience in the Dawn of the Hunt leagues.